What's going on, guys? This is Drum Rap Tech here, and welcome to another Drum Rap Tech Reacts episode. And today, this is top 10 reasons not to visit Australia, uploaded by YouTuber Mind Warehouse. And yeah, let's go.
Hi everyone. Australia is a beautiful place with incredible nature and nice people. But if you spend a lot of time on the internet, you might have heard that you should never visit this country.
Yes, trust the internet. Definitely.
Why? Well, we're going to try to explain it to you.
And don't
now.
show this
so
footage,
here
because
are
that's
10 reasons why you shouldn't go to Australia.
It's a lot of problems straight away.
Ocean current. Do you prefer a lazy beach vacation or love swimming near the coast and sunbathing? Well, we're sorry to disappoint you, but you're not very likely to find a decent beach in Australia.
I'm sorry. What? You are not likely to find a decent beach in Australia. Have you ever been to Bondi Beach? Or Surfers Paradise? They're pretty bloody great.
Of course, there are beaches there, but the ocean's never calm enough. And this is why Australian coasts are perfect for surfing.
And this is why we have red and yellow flags, to protect those dumb idiots that want to drown in a rip. That's not a reason not to visit a country. A bloody rip.
But suppose you're lucky. The water's warm, there's almost no waves around, and you're ready to dive in. But suddenly you notice a warning about sharks, or jellyfish, or poisonous fish, or some other underwater animals that would be happy to share some of their venom with you, or have you as a snack.
You've completely gone off the subject here. You're talking about a rip, an ocean current, and all of a sudden you're now talking about sharks, jellyfish. It's impossible not to look at this video and not cringe.
And even if there are no dangerous creatures, there's always the chance you'll get drawn into the ocean by a strong underwater current. Of course, there are many beach rescuers around, but anyway, being dragged away from the coast into the ocean is not the best experience in the world.
Beach rescuers? I'm pretty sure you mean lifeguards.
Cassowary. What? Am I supposed to be scared of this bird, you might ask? You are right, it does look like a weird hybrid between an ostrich and a turkey, and it doesn't exactly look scary, but in spite of its appearance, this bird is in the Guinness World Records as the most dangerous bird in the world. It has a
Okay, so yes, it has a sharp beak, but I've never been to a place where I've seen a cassowary and I am a full-on Aussie.
sharp beak and long, strong claws, but its most important feature is its nasty temper. Everything irritates this bird. Actually, this creature is totally unpredictable because it always attacks first. And that's a real problem. The average cassowary's height is about 6.5 feet, and it weighs about 180 pounds. And like if that weren't enough, cassowaries can speed up to 30 miles per hour, jump 5 feet in the air, and they're extremely good at swimming, so it's almost impossible to run away from this angry bird.
Or, just don't approach it like a normal person.
Snakes.
Okay, finally, a good reason. I like those other two.
We're gonna be straight with you. Most snakes in Australia are venomous.
True.
And there are a lot of them.
Yes.
And they're practically everywhere.
No.
Fortunately, Australian snakes don't usually attack people, and when they do it in self-defense. But that's no consolation for when you suddenly find a snake in the toilet tank, under your bed, or in the middle of a supermarket.
In the middle of a supermarket. In the toilet tank. Under your bed. Have these guys done their research?
Even if you stay alert 24/7, you'll scream like crazy if you almost step on a snake. Besides, there's a snake known as a taipan that lives everywhere in Australia, and it's extremely dangerous. A person bitten by a taipan will die in 4 hours before getting to a hospital. Ugh. This snake doesn't like to think twice and tends to attack immediately as soon as it sees an enemy. Therefore, you probably won't have time to Google it up and see how dangerous it actually is.
Have you Googled what if you Googled like 2 things for this whole video?
Spiders.
Okay, another
If
good
you
reason.
suffer from arachnophobia, the fear of spiders, you definitely shouldn't go to Australia. Because just like snakes, they are everywhere.
If you have arachnophobia and you're scared of spiders, just walk away. That's common sense.
You can see them in basements, hotels, cafes, parks, beaches, and even in the sink.
Did I just hear basements?
You can see them in basements,
Basements. Basements! I've never been to a house in Australia that has a basement. Do you guys have a basement? Let me know. But I've never been to one. Jeez.
hotels, cafes, parks, beaches, and even in the sink. Obviously, not all of them are the size of your palm, although you can find some big ones. However, you should actually be afraid of the small and more venomous spiders. Anyway, each one of these creatures will try to bite you if it feels danger, so keep calm and don't attack it with a mop. Some of them are very good at jumping.
Are you trying to be funny? Don't attack a spider with a mop. Just don't attack it. It will only get more annoyed.
By the way, don't forget about a phenomenon called raining spiders. It's not a myth, it's really a rain of spiders.
I'm
It's the
not
way
saying
they
it.
travel around, using the wind and their webs as parachutes. And believe us, they don't really care where they land, on a tree or on your
And believe us, a team of Brits who have not done our research for a video about a foreign country.
head. Sun.
The sun? How is the sun a reason not to visit? Oh my god. Oh. Next.
Dingo. We all know that man tamed dogs a very long time ago, so long that we forgot they used to
Oh,
be
that's a
wild
wolf.
wolves. Maybe the difference between a tamed and a wild animal is not that big, and the example for that would be the dingo. It was tamed some time ago, but
Hold on. That is 100% a Tasmanian tiger. And that's been extinct for about 100 years.
and the example for that would be the dingo. It was tamed
Oh my god, how can you tell apart a dog and a tiger that's been extinct for many, many tens of years?
some time ago, but then it returned to its natural habitat. Nowadays, dingoes look like their ancestors, the Indonesian wolves, and they're almost impossible to tame. Dingoes usually attack livestock. They just go into human territory and have their lunch right in the enclosure. Now they live across the whole country, and their reputation scares locals and tourists alike. We wouldn't say these cute doggos attack people a lot, but still, you have to remember that they're almost wolves, so don't try and pet them. Anyway, some of the smartest tourists take the risk and feed the dingoes. We'd like to see them run away screaming and swearing. It must be an amazing show. Fire ants.
Again, that is not a problem or not a reason to not visit Australia. Fire ants are they're like the phobias of bloody 7-year-olds.
One of the biggest problems for the people living in Australia is ants. And
No, it's
not some
not.
normal ants, but fire ants, which are not very pleasant neighbours. One ant
Even better, these bloody ads. Okay. Fire ants are not a problem because they are very, very small. You can step on them and no one will care.
but fire ants, which are not very pleasant neighbours. One anthill can contain hundreds of thousands of insects, and if you bother them just a little bit, they will attack you back. The bite of these venomous ants causes strong allergic reactions.
Venomous? Wait, did you guys look this up on BuzzFeed or something? Oh, fire ants are venomous.
blisters, swelling, and pain shock. So, as you've already guessed, this usually ends really badly, especially for those who are allergic to them. By the way, they appeared on the continent by accident, but then they started reproducing really quickly. Now they live across the whole country, and they get into houses and different devices, which often causes short circuits and fires. Also, many wild and domestic animals suffer because of them. The government's spending millions of dollars to get rid of the fire ants, but unfortunately, the ants are winning.
That's stupid, dude.
Stinging brush.
So, leaves. Do not come to Australia because of leaves.
But you want to go to Australia? Then it's time for you to know that even plants are evil in this country. The evilest one is the stinging brush, also known as Gympie gympie or the suicide plant. It grows in the Australian jungle, and it's considered one of the most dangerous plants on Earth.
Also, barely anyone... I've never heard of people dying from leaves, or let alone a stinging brush. And plus, the Australian jungle, just don't muck around in the Australian jungle and you will not be hurt by leaves.
Its sting is one of the most painful. Some of the victims compare the stinging feeling with hot acid being poured on the skin. And you know, we think they're not exaggerating. This horrible plant contains one of the strongest toxins known to man. You can feel the sting for 2 years after the accident.
How the hell do you guys know?
There's also a story about an officer that used a Gympie's leaf as toilet paper, which led to a fatal outcome. So, if you're in Australia, try to avoid this plant. Alligators.
I'm pretty sure you mean crocodiles. I mean, here in Australia, we do not call crocodiles alligators. We call them crocodiles! Or crocs, for short.
Now about alligators, apart from the fact that they're dangerous toothed reptiles, we looked it up and we learned that in the last decades the population of alligators grew so much in Australia that now they're a real problem for the locals. If you think you can escape the danger by staying away from the water, you are wrong. The problem will just come to you. Literally, these huge reptiles are so bold that they just get near people's houses and wait until someone feeds them a dog, for example. We're not kidding. Hungry crocodiles can even get into houses if people don't lock their doors. And you probably won't have the chance to swim in Australian waters because there are even more reptiles there. So decide for yourself if you really want to go to this country.
Don't swim in Australian waters. There are no alligators. Oh, bloody hell, you brainwashed me. There are no crocodiles in beaches, and even if they were, they'd be very deep, in the very deep of the water. Or, if you're very insecure about going to a beach, go to a pool. It's that simple.
Parenti.
Who the hell is that?
Finally, we want to warn you. Forget about normal-sized animals. Australia is the home to these giant lizards known as parentis. Just their appearance makes you feel scared and run away as far as possible. Nevertheless, they...
Hold on. I just want to Google. I was going to go on Google for a second. Where is the parenti found? Thank you. Okay. This parenti can be found in arid parts of South Australia, Western Australia, Queensland, and the Northern Territory. It's usually found in rocky hills and outcrops. Okay. We very rarely see parentis. So let's find an image. So you've got like this compared
and not that dangerous to humans, in spite of their
to that.
strong 5-foot-long body, Parentes don't attack people. They usually try to hide first, but if the animal feels danger, it immediately attacks, and in this case it will end badly for the victim. Not only their huge body, but also the Parentes' teeth are really dangerous because there are a lot of bad bacteria and microorganisms on them, and the older the animal is, the worse the consequences are. Of course, you might want to take a closer look at this beautiful lizard, but zoologists recommend not coming too close to it. It's still a wild predator, and besides,
that's common
don't forget
sense.
it's from Australia. Now, tell us, friends, have you ever been to this country? Share your experience in the comments, but don't forget to give us a like, because we really want some. Guys,
Why? How can you guys at #MindWarehouse be so incredibly stupid? Guys, that's the end of this video. Leave a like, subscribe, because it'll really help me out. If you want to see my last video, it'll be on the box to my left. To see a recommended video, because that's what YouTube does now, it'll be on the box to my right. A subscribe button will be wherever on this. See you in the next video, but last of all, there's something that I have to do.